All right, good morning, everyone. It is Sunday morning, February 23rd. I had to look at my notes here. Yes, so we had 6 games last night. Um, I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail with a couple of them because it is what it is. You all know the situation that the Dasher's been going through, and they had a patchwork lineup, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, final score is 9-1 Carolina. But there are a couple of um, good stories that came out of this game, including, of course, the Carolina fans wanting to take care of the Dashers, make sure they have what they need to get home, and all that kind of stuff. And this is what makes the Fed great is players and fans being able to interact with each other and positively and this is the kind of reason why I do this, why I love the Fed. So anyway, with this game, it's Ryle Purdy again, kind of thrown to the wolves. But again, what can he do? Mario Cavallari gets his turn in goal after Babic had a shutout on Friday night. So this game starts off pretty quick. It's Gus Ford scoring at 3:36. Zach White scores at 6:38. And then the one moment, and everybody rightfully cheered. Yusuke Jumanji gets a short-handed goal for the Dashers at 7:48. And the crowd responded very positively. First of all, I have been waiting all year to say Jumanji scores. Uh, anyway, so that was a nice little highlight. So it was only 2-1 at the end of one, but Ryle Purdy just absolutely stood on his head, saved 28 of 30 shots in the first period. Yes, 30 shots were 30-6. Then the second period, it was back to your regular programming. Carolina scores. So Roman Kramer, Yuri Pastuka twice, Joe Kennedy, and Danique Druin. By the time they got to Kennedy's goal, there was no big celebration. It was just like, okay, we scored. I respected that. That it wasn't like the Carolina Thunderbirds rubbed the Dashers' noses in it, so to speak. Of course, Carolina had to keep playing. They couldn't just go through the motions. They needed to actually play. I get that. That's very important, especially for them being on top of the division. They need to keep things going. So the score is 7-1 at the end of two. Shots were 56-13 at the end of two. In the third period, Dashers, you'll have to excuse the noise, stuff going on. Dashers outshot the Thunderbirds 13-8, but the only two goals belong to Jan Salak and James Farmer. So, game's over. Dashers go home. Hopefully next weekend, A, the bus will start, and B, things will be a little bit better for the Dashers. They are now 134-3, Carolina 29-7-3. Attendance 31-20. For this game, of course, Jumanji had that short-handed goal, and Purdy saves 55 of 64. He got himself the third star of the game, and it wasn't that he was just making token saves. He was having to work for those saves, and again, Carolina folks recognized that. So that was a nice tip of the cap. For the Thunderbirds, Kramer had a goal and 3 assists. Stephen Ford, not Gus Ford, but Stephen Ford had 3 assists. Gus Ford had a goal and 2 assists. Cavallari stopping 25 of 26 for the win. So on we go to this game, and this was defense optional. A lot of goals in this game. So Watertown takes care of business. They travel down to the Venom. Venom had just broken their long losing streak. Watertown was not going to take them lightly, and they pour on 9 goals. So second 9-goal game last night. First period, it's David Gaeta, 241. He scores. Max Sazanovich scores on a power play at 6:29. The Venom had 4 power play goals yesterday. So if they have a positive takeaway from last night, it's that, hey, the power play is clicking again. That's good. Watertown needs to look at their penalty kill and go, what went wrong? We need to fix this. So, still in the first period, Tate Leeson scores. David Gaeta scores his second. That's just 8:55 in, so it's already 3-1. Danila Belov scores for the Venom, 10:24. So it's 3-2 in favor of the Wolves at the end of the first period. The shots were 17-14, pretty wide open game. Second period comes around, and Gaeta, he gets his hat trick. 3:59 in. Stephen Klink scores. Trevor Newman scores. Ludwell Harris Jr. scores. So yeah, it's pretty much out of reach at this point. But Venom kept playing. I have to give them credit for that. They didn't just roll over and play dead. Stavros Solis scores in the power play, 13:09. Olivier Baton, he scores 17:14 on the power play. Trevor Lord completes the scoring for the second period at 18:48. So end of 2, it's 8-4. Shots at this point was 36 for Hudson Valley. And I did it again. For HC Venom, 27 for Watertown. Third period, Gaeta gets his 4th of the night, and then Danila Belov finished off the scoring again on the power play, 13:04. So 54 shots on goal for the game for the Venom. That's something that Watertown is not going to like. They're going to buckle down and hope for a better defensive effort, especially with Danbury coming into town tonight. It's a very weird weekend for Watertown. They played at home against Danbury, traveled down to Poughkeepsie, and then they're traveling back home. As a matter of fact, both teams, they left immediately after these games to head back to Watertown. Danbury also. So, yeah, so shots 54 for HC Venom, 42 for the Wolves. The Wolves improved to 23-13-1. HC Venom now 8-23-3. Not a good day for Rahul Sharma. He was just flat out hung out to dry. Now, in goal for Watertown, I didn't mention this earlier, it was Joel Eisenhower, who was the #1 goaltender for the Battle Creek Rumblebees. Yes, the ill-fated Rumblebees. So Eisenhower saves 49, gets his second career FPHL win. He's played like 60 games. That was his second win. So yeah. Anyway, Gaeta with 4 goals. Harris and Lord both had a goal and 2 assists. Just quietly, 4 assists on the night. Denis Zychek, 2 assists. Danila Belov, 2 goals. So, yeah, there was a lot of scoring last night. So, the Venom are still 10 points behind Motor City. We'll talk about Motor City in just a little bit. All right, Port Huron. This was the game. And my goodness, what a playoff atmosphere. Christian Gardecki was talking with me during the game. He was at the game. He said, we can barely move in here. This place is packed. Announced crowd of 26-17. I wouldn't be surprised if that number might be a little on the low side. The place was jumping, and I mean, it was shoulder to shoulder in there. I was looking on YouTube, and it's like, I don't see an empty seat in there. I think on a really good day, you can cram 2,800 into the Danbury Ice Arena. So good crowd in hand, and what a game. Port Huron storms out to a big early lead, and Danbury says, not in our house. So let's get right into this. Stefan Deasy is the first to score for the Prowlers at the 16:08 mark of the first period. Just 1-0 in the first, but shots were 19-7. Danbury looked very slow in that first period, just not moving their feet well, not skating well, and Port Huron just poured it on. Connor McCollum stood on his head, saves 18 of 19, and keeps the hat tricks in it. Meanwhile, Reed Cooper is not getting much action, but he's making the saves he needs to make. Second period, we have Kevin Stiles scoring at 3:02. Matt Graham scores at 18-14. So it's 3-0 Prowlers. Finally, the Russians say, we have had enough. And it's Alexander Vasiliev. He scores at 12:23 to get Danbury on the board. But it is Luke James scoring at 17:31 for the Prowlers. So it's 4-1 at the end of two. And the shots at this point were 34-14. I don't know what Kyle Gonzalez and Johnny Ruiz said in the locker room during the third period, but whatever they said really motivated the guys because they came out flying. Just 144 in and a power play opportunity. It's Noah Robinson scoring. So now it's 4-2. And then we also have another power play situation, and it is it's Dylan Hullaby scoring. Hullaby, what a find he was for the hat tricks. He doesn't score like every game, but it seems like whenever he scores, it's a really big goal. And this was really where the momentum really started to shift back into Danbury's favor when Hullaby scored. It's 4-3 at this point. Johnny Ruiz, just 2 minutes later, ties it up. Ruiz, of course, 300 points plus now with the hat tricks. So, so now it's tied up. Lucas Lackney takes advantage of a defensive miscue on a freaky bounce and puts Port Huron back up 5-4. 13:44. I like Doug Lutuka's call. He just said, "Oh no." Literally, that's what he said. A little humorous, but I got what he was thinking is like, we've come so far, we've gotten close, and now this happens. But Dylan Hullaby again in the clutch, 18:42 with the extra attacker. The hat tricks had just pulled McCollum for the extra attacker, and Hullaby scores just like 5 seconds later. And so now it is 5-5. We go to the shootout. We go to the overtime. Nothing happens in the overtime, although Danbury had the better chances. They had 4 shots on goal to Port Huron just 1. So in the shootout we go. And this went to 7 rounds. Yeah, 7 rounds. This is the second time this year that Danbury has had a shootout that's gone past 5 rounds, and they've won both of them. So the other one was an 8-round shootout against Binghamton. So it is Gleb Ben Durkin that gets the shootout winner, and that is that. So Port Huron 20-16-5. They only get 1 point this weekend. They are in 4th place, and they have some work to do. Danbury, they are a scary team right now. You've got the 2 hottest teams with the win streaks. You have Binghamton and Carolina. But if the playoffs were to start today, if I was the opposition, I would be very scared to play Danbury right now. 22-11-6. They have now won 10 of their last 12 games. Now it's crowd again, 26-17, and I think that was underreported. I really do. Because, wow, what an atmosphere that was. That was the really exciting game. Um, this had some drama too. Athens gets out to a 5-0 lead before the Bobcats put it in gear, start chipping away at the lead, and they just ran out of time. Um, it is William Lavalier in goal for the Athens Rock Lobsters. Greg Hussey, the lone goaltender last night, a backup Marshall Murphy in warm-ups, takes a puck to the mask, breaks the cage, uh, gave him a good gash on the face. So he was not available because his cage was destroyed. But anyway, into this game we go. It's Philippe Virgili scoring 13:53 on the power play. Athens was playing with some purpose after having gotten shut out the day before. Um, it's Garrett Baton scoring at 16:27. So after one, it's 2-0. Shots pretty even, 16-15 in favor of the Bobcats in the first. In the second, it's Philippe Virgili again, this time shorthanded. Um, then we had, I'm sorry, you know what? I missed before Virgili scored. Danilo Gakarev scored just 39 seconds into the second period. So then Virgili scores. Milan scores at 14:40, so it's 5-0. Bobcats get themselves going. It is Nick McHugh scoring at 17:13. So at least the Bobcats are on the board. Late in the period, 19:28, it's Devin Sanders scoring. So it's 5-2 going into the third. So there's some hope still alive for the Bobcats. And Daniel Klinecki adds to that hope. He scores at 11:38 of the third, 5-3 now. Like I said, Bobcats just ended up running out of time, literally. So that's the way it would end. Shots in total, 47 for the Bobcats, and only 41 for Athens only. But on the scoreboard is where it mattered. So yeah, we had ourselves a little revenge, Lobster style. 29-5-2 is their record now. Bobcats 19-15-4. These two teams will finish a 3-3 tonight. So yeah, busy weekend for the Bobcats and Rock Lobsters. Just touching lightly on these games, the Binghamton Black Bears, they win their 15th in a row over the Motor City Rockers, 7-3. Motor City, they had jumped out to a 2-0 lead in this game, and really kind of took the Black Bears by surprise, but the Black Bears rally in the second period and take the lead and just surge with it. So, game-winning goal is scored at 17:56 of the second period by Josh Fletcher. At that point, made it 4-2. Connor McAnanima wasn't very busy. He saved 17 of 20 on the other end of the ice. Baton got a workout, saves 37 of 44. Shots in the first period were 13-7 in favor of Binghamton, but again, it was 2-1 on a late goal by Binghamton. Second period, 19-7 by Binghamton, and then 12-6 Binghamton in the third. Excuse me. Doug Blaisdell gets 2 assists. Also, Matthias Tellstrom. For the Black Bears, Stubbs had 2 goals, 2 assists. Yates had a goal and 2 assists. Very important milestones, 2 reached by Gavin Yates. First of all, he gets his 200th point as a Binghamton Black Bear, and he also gets his 300th career FPHL point. So, congratulations to Yates as Binghamton comes back before sellout crowd of 48-93. Motor City hanging on to that 5th place spot, only 10 points up on the Venom right now. 13-24-2. Binghamton improves to 36-4-1. And then the other blowout, Baton Rouge easily handles Mississippi, and this was just a game that Mississippi would like to forget for a number of reasons. The rough start. Sean Haggerty scores twice in the first 4 minutes and 8 seconds. Second time was on the power play, and that was the game-winning goal. Uh, Also, let's see. Yeah, it was just kind of over then. Curtis Hanson did score for Mississippi, but with the Zydeco, they get 2 goals, 2 assists from Haggerty, a goal and 2 assists from Catola, uh, a goal and 2 assists from Jake Cox, and so on and so forth. 21-18 on hand, and first of all, 2 losses, I guess you'd say, for Mississippi. Late in the third period, with about, I believe it was about 6, 7 minutes left. Uh, I didn't see things really well. I did see the event, but it looked like Bailey Stevens might have gotten his stick a little too active on Justin Barr. Barr was not happy about that, and as he was led to the penalty box, he just went ballistic. And this is not the Justin Barr that we know. This was just really uncharacteristic. Um, you've probably all seen the incident on YouTube. It's all over the place. So this may be the end of Justin Barr. I don't know, but he's definitely going to be facing a suspension. Um, the other loss is, yes, Mississippi is now officially mathematically eliminated from playoff contention. So yeah, that's about all I can say with this game. Um, it's unfortunately Richie Perrant. He came back from his brief SPHL call up, saved 33 of 39. Bailey Stevens with the win, 32 of 33. So that is it. That is our games. These 2 teams, of course, were idle tonight. We have Danbury traveling to Watertown to take on the Wolves. That game is at 4:30 this afternoon. And then this evening, it's the Rock Lobsters and the Zydeco. No, the Bobcats finishing up their 3-3. So those are our 2 games tonight. All right, I will have recaps on the Flash Audio Network, not on YouTube. Flash Audio Network tomorrow. We will also be posting on Facebook stars and standings, so you can kind of watch out for that. All right, that's it. That's our weekend wrap up, with the exception of the 2 games tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you're subscribed, hit like, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about these, the results of these games. And yeah, we will be back with you tomorrow on the Flash Audio Network. Also, keep a watch on Facebook. We'll see whatever suspensions get announced or whatever other transactions. I'll post them there on Facebook tomorrow. Thank you so much for all your support, for watching. Take care, and we will see you next weekend.